is an entry. So. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
And now I lost my train of thought. No, just you got the invite yesterday. For some reason, Michelle decided to post a picture of me that was from the first harvest I did down here, 2006.
Get a lot more hair.
It's gone a little light there. It's gonna be bigger here, but so 2006. I mean, 13 years ago. Holy heck! I don't know where time has flied, but when we started up this brand, we were so enthusiastic. We were so happy. We had the future was really bright open, and I've told you many times that when we started this brand, we were actually in a kind of a recession mode. So there was no guarantee for success at the time, and I am honored, super happy to say that you guys have all taken Alpha Omega to a level where it's insane. When I talk to people out in the valley, I bring up my past of Newton Vineyard together with Jean. I bring up my recent past from Acumen. And it's only until I mention Alpha Omega that people are like, wow, you were at Alpha Omega. And I'm like, yep, I was. So I am very honored, super happy to be here as this brand's winemaker. I've made it a point to say nothing changes, because why change anything that is so successful? We're gonna do some tweaks here and there. For me, it's mostly on the logistics side. Back in the days as assistant winemaker, I was running around like a chicken without a head. Stress level was insane. So when I stand up here today and take credit for something, I actually have to give a big shout out to Baston. Because Baston is the guy who has and I can't get through all of your names yet, but I think we can all agree that there's no success without a solid teamwork. So, Vineyard crew, starting this morning at very early hours. Joel has been amazing out in the vineyards, and without good grapes, I'm dead in the water. There's nothing I can do. So, big shout out to the Vineyard crew as well. Which leads me back to production team. Big shout out to those, including our international interns. And then, as I always say, I think I have the most or the easiest job in this company, because making wine is actually not that difficult. Sales, wow, that's where reality kicks in. So anybody else in this company, whether it's in events, sales, we're all part of this family, and we couldn't work without each other. And I think that's one of the parts that I'm most proud of, that we're such a solid team. So a little bit, I'm not going to bore you with too many details about this growing season, but during my weekly updates, I've been trying to open the books as much as I can. I don't think there's any secrets that shouldn't be shared. I know most winemakers will say, oh, no, I'm keeping the cards close to the vest and not revealing any of my small tricks and all that. But for me, it's the opposite. I like to share information. I love when some of you guys come up to me and ask me questions of, oh, how are we doing on this, and what are we bringing in next time, and so on. So it's, I love to talk about wine, and please don't stop ever bringing questions around. So a little bit on the vintage this year. I have to admit that back in April when I started and I saw the weather forecast, I was like, ooh, this might be a vintage where we really need to separate the good from the mediocre and the great winemakers. So I felt a little pressure there, and I normally don't feel pressure. There's nothing that you can tell, do, or ask me that will get me stressed. It's something that I learned back in the days as assistant winemaker, and John had me running circles around myself. I don't think that a stressed person will perform 100%. So I decided to say, well, there's nothing we can do. Mother Nature is Mother Nature. So I was happily surprised that the growing season turned out as it did. Over the last 2 months or so, we've actually turned this vintage from something that was potentially a little bit edgy into a fantastic potential for a stunning vintage. Needless to say that when we had rains back in April, even stretching into May, it gets a little edgy. But I think the flavor development that we see in the grapes generally throughout the valley has been quite amazing. I've actually never tasted grapes this early in season and seen the potential in the grapes. I've talked to enough winemakers about this vintage, and I don't know if you are aware, but 2018 is gonna be a stunning vintage. So talking to colleagues out in the valley, we've actually agreed that potentially 19 has the same quality level. So I think we're in for a very, very solid vintage. It's up to us, production team, Vineyard crew, to make it happen. And then hopefully we can hand over some nice wines to you 2 years from now. So, anything else?
So 100? Oh, just kidding.
So Robin asked me when I was brought back in, he says it comes with the clause, you need to score 100. I generously offered him 2 wines that scored 50 instead. I don't think he was up for it, but
well, yeah. No, that's a little bit of a tease, a little bit, but you know, it's always been as a growing up in life as an athlete, and you always want to be on a team where you win the ring or the championship, whatever sport it is, even be horseshoes. But you know, it'd be great. I mean, our goal here has been to have a 100-point wine, and we've come close. One of the things I wanted to share with you, and it's so good to see everybody together. I mean, now we have our own vineyard team, so we can't have, you know, now we have a team that can work toward that, and our production team. It's all you in those pretty vests. We, you know, if I look back at 2006, the only vineyard we had was what was picked this morning, and that was our only real source, and everything else we had to go elsewhere that someone else farmed. Now we're at the point where we're farming at least 50% of our own vineyards or more, and our goal is to get to 100%. And we're really focused now because the Alpha Mega's we've been doing very well, and now we have some capital where we can go out and get some of the best vineyards in Napa Valley. I'll share with you one we just got. As you know, we've been we're in Rutherford. Well, one of the greatest vineyards in Rutherford is up on a hill up here called Sacrochet, and we're just able to do a deal where we're going to have, if not 100%, at least 25% of the Sacrochet vineyard that has received a number of 100-point wines. So that'll be part of this harvest. And that's kind of our goal for the future is, you know, we want to get to a point where we have Joel farming all of our vineyards and the production crew processing those grapes where this great marketing and sales team can sell it. And so, you know, I think at this point in time, we're on no better of a roll, as I call it, in sports, or a winning combination. And the future is very bright. It's really unbelievable, especially being able to bring back Henrik as part of the winemaking team, and we're passing around for a toast.
You need a glass.
Not yet. But I just want to say, I want you all to know, I mean, you see me run around doing other things, but I just want to end with a big thank you. And a thank you for all you do, everybody here. I mean, this is the best team we've ever had. I can unquestionably tell you. And I'm so proud to be part of that team. And so I'm going to pass it on to Jeff. Let Jeff say a few words as we get ready.
I think you bring a moment of reflection, right? Well, let me do this. It's hard to back that up. But I'm new to the wine industry, born and raised here, and avoided it like the plague. Always said I would never work in wine, and I've never been more happy to be wrong in my entire life. Although my wife would say there's a couple other things I've been more wrong on, and she's quite happy about too. But I've been really kind of astonished and amazed by how much work goes into what we do, and we all understand that, and the different disciplines of what we do, and how incredibly important every single person on this team is to making this a reality every single vintage. And been learning a lot from Joel. First of all, what type of shirts to wear, because we share the same style in shirts most days and wear the same size. So cheers, my man. And his yes. And they were up, thank you for waiting to send the email with the photos until at least around 6 a.m. this morning to not wake us up when you were out picking this beautiful fruit this morning. Amazing job and an incredible team. A little story about Joel. I'm at a barbecue a couple weekends ago. This random guy who's about Joel's height comes up to me, Terry. He says, "You work at Alpha Omega?" I said, "I do." He said, "Do you have anything to do with viticulture?" And I said, "Thankfully, no. No, because we would not have any wine if that were the case." He said, "Well, do you know Joel?" And I said, "Yeah, of course I know Joel." And he said, "That guy right there is the best in Napa Valley. He's the best at what he does. He really is. He is doing things in the vineyard that I'm photographing, I'm putting into standards that I'm sharing with other growers, with other farmers, because they're saying that our regulations are too strict, that they're impossible to meet, and Joel's coming up with creative solutions and getting it done and getting it done properly all the time. And it's an inspiration. He's actually using what our farming team is doing as case studies for other growers around Napa Valley, which is why I think Robin and me and Henrik and all of us have the confidence to go out and try to find incredible new fruit sources to give to Joel and his team, because we know that what he's going to bring in the production facility to our winemaking team is going to be world class and the best of Napa Valley. So I just want to say thank you personally to Joel and the entire viticulture team for all the work that you do that goes most of the time completely unseen, but just you got to know that it doesn't go unrecognized and unnoticed, and it's tremendously important. So thank you. And impressive. Last time. And then winemaking. I mean, we saw 2,000 guests this weekend on a Labor Day weekend. It was insane out here. And, it is a tough job to do that. But the reason we saw all those guests, I mean, sincerely and truly, and the reason why we're on a 45-minute wait out front, which Sarah knows, now she's crossed into the dark side of production from hospitality, very smart, is there's a reason that people say, we'll quote, well, unfortunately we're on a 45-minute wait. We don't have a chair. I mean, this whole place is loaded with guests, and we'll wait, which blows me away. That astonishes me every time, because I don't know about you, but I'm not a Lions person. I'm probably out of here. But they happily wait, and to wait for an hour and a half long experience because of the product and what's in the glass and what has been produced vintage over vintage over vintage, and it's astonishing and it's incredible. And the reputation that we have throughout Napa Valley, it starts there. And we can give the most phenomenal experience in the world and be as charming as we possibly can, but if it doesn't measure up, you're not coming back and you're not buying the wine, you're not joining the club. And so, to the production team that's about to work 24-hour shifts, or actually we're ending that, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And who work tirelessly, and I mean, thank you. I did one punch down session with Jackson. My wife and I came during the fires. I think I made it about, at least 2 hours. 2 hours?
Oh yeah, I remember that day.
And I've never been more sore in my life. In my entire life. I could not make it, but it's incredibly impressive, and everything you do is unbelievable. We wouldn't be here without it. So thank you sincerely for all the hard work you're about to put into this next vintage. And then of course to my hospitality guys and the sales team members and everybody who makes that a reality, and the marketing team, and even our housekeeping team, right? And our facilities team, our events team. There's nothing, this doesn't happen on the level that it's happening right now without everybody playing their role in this organization and doing what it takes to be successful. There is no production team without us selling the wine. There's no wine to sell without production. There's no wine to produce without our growers. And none of us can make this happen if Alvaro doesn't keep the roof from caving in and clean up after all of our residents. Pretty incredible symbiotic relationship that is really truly inspiring. And so I just would like to raise a glass and say cheers. 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 Here's to 2019, the best year in AO's history. Salute.
Are you going to say something?
So I'm really excited that we're all here together as a family for a moment to just be quiet and to think about that journey that the farmers who originally sowed the earth here, who planted the grapes, think about the journey of the grapes and how many hands it passes through until it gets into that glass at your dining table with your friends to share a beautiful memory. And we know that journey, and we know where it goes through our growers and our production team, our sales team, to our customers. And we have so much to be grateful for, because everyone on this team is a blessing to this business and to this brand. Every one of us brings something to each of us. So if you could just, everybody take a deep breath and think about your blessings and everything we have to be grateful for. Pray for our vineyard workers, that they have a very safe journey during harvest. Pray for all of our sales team that works so hard to get the product into our customers' hands. So I'm gonna be quiet, and I want you to have positive, great Alpha Mega Team energy for all of our workers who are working so hard this harvest. Just 10 seconds. All right, thanks everybody, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for the Sauvignon Blanc, Ryan
This is
Talbert,
a
wherever you are.
blind tasting. What vintage is this?
2012.
Oh, so good.
This is really good.
Dude, that Ryan guy is really good.
Yeah, he knows his stuff.
You know.
So if we finally a little touch up on what we've been talking about here, team. I've always compared a company to a watch. You look at the front, you see the big dials, they get all the limelight, we have fancy director titles, we get all the our unfair share of the fame. Turn that clock around, look at all the small gears in there. Any small dial, if just one of them is slightly off, the clock will still be running, but it's not going to be a precise clock. And I think what we have instigated with these changes recently, a couple more coming down the line, is we're shooting for perfection. We want this clock to be the most precise out there, and we can't do it without you. So again, here's to teamwork, here's to the family spirit that we all share being in this company. So thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, good.
Thank you, Kelly, for the video.
Yeah, put that down so you can have a glass.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps it up. Enjoy your wine, but enjoy your time with your team before everybody gets going and doing all this beautiful work that you do. And God bless every one of you. Thank you so much.